Hi everyone, this is Nicole from Right at Home, and today I'm going to be guest designing for Hutson. I'm going to show you how to create this front door seasonal wreath card. I'm going to start by using some Bristol Smooth cardstock and some peeled paint Distress Oxide ink, and just ink up a circular section on this paper. And I'm going to bring in my die from the seasonal wreath die set to make sure that I have enough inked. Then I'm going to move on to a smaller piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock and ink that up with Candied Apple Distress Oxide ink. Once I'm finished inking up my paper, I'm going to bring it to my die cutting machine with my wreath die and the 2 poinsettia dies and run those through a few times each. I die cut 2 additional wreaths from just some plain white cardstock, and I'm going to glue them together with some liquid adhesive. Then I'm going to add the green inked wreath on top, and it'll just add some dimension behind the wreath so that I don't have to use foam tape and cut it into tiny little pieces. Once I had all my pieces glued together, I noticed that some of the white was still showing, so I decided to flip it over and ink up the back with the green Distress Oxide ink again. And I also kind of wiggled the foam tool into all the little nooks so that it would cover as much of the white as possible. Now I'm going to move on to my door panels. I have a piece of A2 size cardstock here, and then I have 3 smaller pieces that I'm going to layer over top to kind of look like a door. And I wanted to add some dimension to them, so I'm adding some antique linen Distress Oxide ink and then just a little bit of vintage photo to add some more depth. For the bow that's going to go at the bottom of my wreath, I decided I wanted to do something a little different. So I just have a piece of white cardstock here, and I'm going to cover it with some Be Creative double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to pull the backer sheet off so that all of the adhesive is exposed, and I'm going to add some TONIC NUVO gilding flakes in the gold color right on top. And then you don't need a lot because when you push down on it and burnish it into the adhesive, it just kind of melts into the paper, and I really love the look. So then I'll use the bow die from the same die set and run that through my die cutting machine. Now I'm going to glue everything together. I'm going to add some foam tape on the back of the 3 panels so it adds some dimension and makes it look even more like a front door. And then over the top I'm going to use some liquid adhesive to add on the wreath. Then I'll add the bow along the bottom and arrange all my little poinsettias that I cut out around the wreath and glue them down with some liquid adhesive as well. I'm going to add my greening to the inside of the card instead, so I'm using just another piece of craft cardstock that I've cut into a card base and the Deck the Halls greening from my Peace Love Joy set, and I'm just going to double stamp that with some Ranger dye ink, and then I'm going to adhere my panel to the front of my card base. Then for some finishing touches, I'm going to use the NUVO crystal drops in English Mustard, and I'm going to put 3 drops into each of the centers of the poinsettia. And then I wanted to make a little doorknob, so I'm going to use the dark walnut color, and I'm going to put like a large circle on the right hand side on the top of the bottom panel. And that's going to finish up my card. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so thankful to have had the opportunity to guest for Hutson. You can find all the supplies linked in the blog post, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!